Welcome back to the Morning Brief on Channels Television. We're reaching you live from our global headquarters in Lagos, and we're going to that part of the conversation that affects almost everyone in Lagos. The third Mainland Bridge, it's a very, very important route that helps commuters, from the mainland to the island, and indeed, others who are moving around. And we have the Federal Controller of Works to help us, with this conversation. Pardon me, Mrs. Olukorede Kisha. We'll bring her right on, but we're still interested in in your comments in every part of the conversation that we have, talked about today. Either it's Mommy Z or that of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and every other highlight that we've mentioned. So now let's welcome Mrs. Olukorede Kisha to the program. Welcome, madam. It's so nice to have you in Channels Television Studios.
Good morning.
Good
nice
morning.
to be with you.
I think honorable, you don't mind honorable.
I don't mind honorable.
I just wanted to say honorable.
But you are an engineer.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're used to interviewing politicians, so we can be pardoned. So you're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think one of the first few things that Nigerians would like to know is particularly is how it has and why it has taken long for the work on the third Mainland Bridge to be concluded, and perhaps you could also run us through, this phase and how long it will take.
Good morning once again, and thank you for having me. It hasn't taken long. We just started. This government is a new government, barely 1 year old, and very responsive. Initially, we were to have routine maintenance on Third Mainland Bridge before the advent of this new administration. And they looked at it that what this bridge deserves now is more than a routine maintenance. It's a comprehensive maintenance, comprehensive repairs, both on the upper elements and then the under elements. And that's what they did. So it was awarded, and then we started promptly. The forums have been dealt with. We said it would take 6 weeks. We didn't take more than that. We trashed that one out. Now we want to do the main bridge deck that goes to island, and then the one that comes from island. And because we do not want to multiply the inconvenience that is going to cost the motoring public, we have decided to face it. That was why we tackled the ramp first. We did all the ramps first, while we allow motorists to use the main deck. The contractor has the capacity to do all at the same time, but we said no. The inconvenience will be unimaginable. So let's split it, let's face it, to reduce the inconvenience.
How long would it have taken for the contractor to finish it in one fell swoop?
It will take about 3 months. It will have been done. 3 months, because they have capacity. They will just bring multiple gangs. As one gang is here, one gang is there, but we said no. We can't afford to do that. We don't have many of such roads in Lagos. The population is growing by the minute, so and infrastructure is not matching up with the pace of growth. So we said, okay, let's do that. And that was why during the Yuletide period, we had to leave the bridge, because we're sensitive to what is happening around us. So we left, then we said, okay, let's come back now. Business is a bit low now, things are just gearing up towards taking off. So we said, let's start now. So now we want to start with the bound going to the island from Iyanoworo. And it's going to take us about 6-7 weeks.
You also mentioned something about Adekunle, the portion descending Adekunle.
We have tackled that.
You have tackled that.
All the forums linking Adekunle to the Third Mainland Bridge and Iyanoworo to Ibute Meta, all those forums have been tackled.
So this is a partial closure, not a full closure.
Please clarify that. It's a partial one.
It will be closed between what time and what time?
No. The bound going to, if you're going to island, that lane, that carriageway, that 4 lanes will be totally closed.
Okay.
For repairs. Why will now divert traffic to the other one? The other lane going to Iyanoworo will now be used interchangeably.
As a dual carriage road?
No, interchangeably, in the sense that in the mornings, the people going to island will use that. There will be a point of diversion at Iyanoworo.
All right.
So they will take a detour and then take the Iyanoworo bound lane. People coming from island now will no longer be able to do so by tomorrow noon. And they will not be able to come from island straight to Yanoworo. They will have to use alternative routes, like Eco Bridge and then the Kata Bridge.
So
but people going in the morning, they will have access to that. They will take a detour at Yanoworo, going through that opposing lane, supposedly. Then they will come in back again at Adeniji and then go to the island.
So I wanted to find out what measures are being put in place, because this is going to, the Kata Bridge itself, there's going to be a lot of pressure in that direction. I don't know, maybe you can give us a data, maybe statistics of how many vehicles ply the third mainland bridge, because people are not going to, some people are not even familiar with this route you're talking about, people who don't go to the island too often. So maybe a little bit of explanation on these diversions you're talking about, sometime in the morning, because some people, there are people that they don't have any business on the island, so they leave and stay on the mainland, and maybe they have a reason to go to the island, and they get stuck like, what happened to our third mainland bridge? So all of that. So two questions in one. First is, what is the ministry doing in terms of when pressure builds up at the end of the day, when vehicles break down? What is the ministry doing? And people who are not quite familiar, maybe explain again how this detour will happen.
If you get to Yanoworo, that is from midnight. Like tomorrow now, we're going to close it around 11, 12 noon. So if you get to Yanoworo around 11, 12 noon tomorrow, you understand, you will still be able to, you'll be able to climb the bridge. Yes, but going to the island. You'll be able to go.
But those coming
will not be able to go.
Will not be able to come.
They will not be able to come to Yanoworo.
Okay.
But if you're going from Yanoworo to Adekunle, you will still be able to go.
Okay.
You will still be able to go to Lagos Island. In the afternoon, people coming from the mainland that want to use third mainland bridge will not be able to do so.
So when does afternoon start?
Afternoon starts by 1.
So from 1 p.m.?
From 1, no, 12.
From midday.
12, we're going to block it.
Okay.
After blockage, there will still be some stream of flow in between.
Yeah.
So we allow those ones to go. So by 1 o'clock, we assume that all the stream will have been gone by 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Now, for those who are trying...
Because that bridge is about 9.7 kilometers.
Okay.
So if we close it by 12, we expect some traffic to be between that Yanoworo and Adeniji. So we've given them like 1 hour to fizzle out. Thereafter, we'll open for the people coming from Adeniji Island coming to the mainland.
So you didn't answer my question as to incidents and then the pressure that is going to be, because now these diversions will happen. Not all vehicles are roadworthy. So many things, you know these challenges. So what is being put in place to ensure that no matter what happens, whether it's an articulated vehicle or a saloon car, quick response is in place to ensure, because it's high, that road, the level of traffic burden is huge, literally. So what is the ministry putting in place?
We're working in conjunction with Lagos State government. We've been having a series of meetings with Commissioner for Transportation, the last mile GM and last mile operation officers. So they'll be deployed to man all these points of diversions. And then the CC, they have towing vans, towing vehicles. Lagos State has. All these will be mobilized on all the routes to support us. So once there's a breakdown, we have capacity to tow away from site and then allow for the traffic to flow. The Commissioner of Police is in touch with us. We're working hand in hand. As I live here now, I'm going to his office. I'll be going to Commissioner of Transportation's office too. So all the area commanders that man that axis, we are all in synergy together to ensure that traffic is flowing at all times.
Partnership is quite important in ensuring this is a success.
Yeah.
And I imagine for a lot of people who have to apply that route, the headache they're feeling right now, seeing that their beloved 3MB, as we always call it, half of it will be shot. But it's quite innovative what is being done. So you are monitoring the traffic flow. You know that there's more traffic going to the island in the morning, so people can use the other side in the morning. And you know that there's more traffic in the afternoon, so it's now some sort of dual purpose highway, even though it's not the dual carriage we know about. So that's something very important to note. But speak to us about the alternative routes, and I think Jeff was going to that when he was talking about provision. But what are the alternative routes? So if I'm trying to get to the island in the afternoon, some people don't really have businesses on the island, as Jeff said. Some do, but they probably didn't get this information on time, so maybe they will be caught up tomorrow. What are the alternatives for them? So they're approaching Iyanaworo in the afternoon, and they just see that the road is closed. What can they do? Or they're coming from the island towards Iyanaworo in the morning, and they see it is closed. What are the options available for them? I know you have to partner with LASMA, with perhaps FRSC, police, and the rest, but help us to understand the alternatives available.
If you're coming from, let's say, Toll Gate in the morning, going towards the island, it is free for you, just like I've said. But in the afternoon, by 12 o'clock, it's no longer free for you. So if you miss Ojota, then you take Bagada.
Okay.
If you miss Ojota, then you take Bagada.
Does that mean that the control will not even allow you get to Iyanaworo in the first place?
No, you will get to Iyanaworo.
Okay. There's a diversion here.
Yes.
Okay.
But there will be a lot of traffic on that route, Bagada.
No, that's why we're saying if you miss. So if you're coming from Toll Gate axis now, so your best bet is to take Ojota.
And just follow Ikorodu Road.
Follow Ikorodu Road.
And
to Yaba, to Muritala Mohammed, then to Ido, Kata Bridge, and go to the island. If you don't want to go like that, you still follow the Ikorodu Road. Go straight to Western Avenue, that's Funshaw Williams Avenue. Then you climb Iko Bridge and go to the island in the morning. In the afternoon.
Yeah.
Then if you're coming from island in the afternoon, there's the same way. Just follow Kata Bridge. If you don't want to follow Kata Bridge, you follow Iko Bridge. Come to Funshaw Williams Avenue. Then from there you find your route.
What about the waterways? Because I know that's also not everybody can charter a helicopter, right?
I was going there.
Only very few privileged
Only very few
Nigerians.
privileged. So a lot of people who know that there will be bottlenecks on the Carter Bridge, because all of that traffic that is going to be on the third Mainland Bridge is going to be on those smaller
alternative routes,
which we know they actually, the alternatives are smaller. So what about water travel? Because we need to place all the cards on the table for people to know.
We're looking into that. But majorly, those are the major alternatives we have provided. But we're looking into that too. That has always been on ground, but I know a lot of people have phobia for water. So they would rather prefer, you understand, that they go on the road. There's nothing you can do about that. And then parking and co. Before you drive your car to go and park and then enter this, enter that. So
Is an option too. Is the ministry also looking at, because when things like this happen, for people who are not quite familiar, if you travel by road to other states, so when the major roads have issues, people pass through villages, all of a sudden we see tolls in these villages collecting, some stipends and from people and all of that. I hope that the ministry is working towards that. So, for instance, I miss my way. I can't find. I go to pass a particular street. I don't want to see people trying to harass me to say, okay, you're passing our street and you need to do it. Is the ministry looking? Because let's not just look at Kata Bridge. We're looking at all other smaller roads or alternative routes. So is the ministry also looking at that and collaborating with the federal state government rather to ensure that this doesn't happen?
Yes, we talked about that. Majorly, maybe offenders will be pardoned, kind of. Majorly for this kind of period.
Okay.
If you're not going to cause a traffic jam or gridlock or traffic nuisance.
LASMA is part of this, right?
Yes, they are they are very much involved.
Okay.
So there's a guarantee that they'll be deployed in good numbers.
Yes,
those alternative
very
routes.
good numbers, even police.
So right now we expect LASMA to be more corrective than punitive.
Yes, they are going to be.
You need to
No, they are going to be, especially around the Ebute Meta. You understand? Because from Ebute Meta now, you cannot go to the island.
Okay, so if you take...
So there is no... We're going to make it in such a way that there will not be like one way, wrong way inside that Ebute Meta axis for this period.
Mrs. Kesha, I feel tempted to say that you should repeat it. Like the police will say, police is your friend, you're not supposed to pay for bail. So maybe you have to repeat that statement again about...
I want to repeat it, and I want to make it clear.
Good.
Once you are not constituting a public nuisance, and you're not going to cause traffic gridlock or logjam, you understand? You're not going to be punished.
Okay.
LASMA, they are going to look the other way. But in case you want to constitute nuisance, because some people, they are deliberate.
Okay.
You understand, in their action and intentions. They know that they need to be patient for others to go, but they will not do that. Then they want to, you understand, overtake others when they are not supposed to do. You will be punished for that.
Sorry, please. Does this law apply to all classes of vehicle? Commercial
and private.
Private. You know where I'm going, madam, with all of this?
And
because like
vehicles.
Sometimes it's like
the rules that apply to private doesn't apply to commercial.
Doesn't apply to commercial vehicle. Because we drive, we see these things like, okay, if I beat traffic, if I do something, they've surrounded you.
Which you
and
will
then
not
just,
do, Jeffrey. Just
as they surrounded you, you're seeing yellow buses. I
think we're going to leave that one to the commissioner.
Okay. No, because this it is your work.
No, but
it is your work.
Our work on Third Mainland Bridge, I'm just going to say that for the emphasis sake once again, that if for a Bute Meta exists, that's where we envisage problem. On Ikorodu Road now, you cannot do that.
Okay.
You understand? But we discovered that inside the Bute Meta, some exits are designated as one way, wrong way. Okay. You understand that one? For the purpose of this construction, those laws
will be relaxed.
Well, Jeffrey, I understand your point perfectly, but it's important that we also emphasize that Nigerians should be of good behavior, especially at this point, and cooperate with government officials as they do their work. But again, the law must not be selective. We just honestly must hope so. Now, Matt, please talk to us about, first of all, before we go to what the last phase of the work would entail, talk to us about vandalism on the bridge and the resort of the contractors to using alternatives, to working on accessories on the bridge. I know that you have had to address the matter of the removal of piers under the bridge at a certain point. So talk to us about that and how it's affecting the work of contractors on Third Mainland Bridge and on other repair works that you've had to supervise during your time as controller of works.
It calls for a great concern. What is happening around us is not only on infrastructure, it's generally. But on our infrastructure, we've talked about, like the guardrails, a lot of them are missing on Third Mainland Bridge. Not due to deterioration or anything, it's just due to vandalization. We've had DPOs call upon us that they've arrested some culprits who are caught in the act. And then they called us, we went to the police station, and then we recovered some of them. For how long are we going to do this? For how long? We looked about replacing it with other elements. It's going to be very cost involved, you understand? So we don't have that cost. So we cannot even replace all. Concrete is not befitting on that axis to be used as guardrails. What is befitting there is the structural elements that we have used, the aluminium type, the galvanized type. But people won't let it be. So it's a general concern. It's not just about that bridge. So we've talked to the police. That's why I'm going to the police commissioner now again to reiterate it, because we're trying to refix it now, trying to make everything new. It's a collective responsibility. Then on Nigerians too and Lagosians, we're saying if you see something, say something, and then it will be sorted out.
Let me take a cue from that, and pardon me. So I've seen the concrete rails for this Lagos and Ibadan construction, perhaps as a result of what we've seen in other places. But what I see, because you asked us, if we see something, say something. On that route, just right in the middle of the road, I don't know if you saw that on your way here, but you've probably seen it traveling. And I have to find a way to say this because it's television. You see people taking dumps right in the middle, feces and the rest, right in the middle of the road. And it's an eyesore. You enter Lagos, which is a commercial capital of Nigeria, and that is a site,
states, actually.
That is a site that greets you If you roll
and
down,
the stench follows
you don't want to even roll down.
And the environmental implication.
Terrible. And these are people, because I was tempted to ask, do we have cattle actually crossing that? But no, of course, cattle, these are people doing that. You may have seen that. There are images and videos everywhere. It's an eyesore. It's even not palatable to talk about, but we have to raise these issues. Is there anything you're doing in that area? Is there anything that can be done? So, I mean, it's a mess, really.
It's part of why I'll be seeing the Commissioner of Police this morning. And then I'll have another meeting with the Commissioners of Environment from both Lagos and Ogun State. But have you been to Adekunle of recent? The roads that we just refurbished, we just rehabilitated. Come and see dumps of refuse at the middle of the road. Middle of the road. I was there yesterday while inspecting these diversion points. And I went around Adekunle, came up again. They started bags of refuse at the median and by the side. Why we were there yesterday, we saw people, about 7 of them, they lined up like this.
To dump refuse.
So what are you...
They were doing the big thing.
So
on the road.
You've talked about partnerships. What are you recommending to the ministries that you are in partnership with about how to solve these environmental problems? Either it's the pollution in the median or it's the vandalism on the highways. What are you recommending?
I want to believe that a lot of work needs to be done by the states, governments, and the local governments. I've asked my engineers to go after the local government chairman, Yaba local government chairman, that it is unacceptable for us as a ministry and as a nation, a road that just been newly done. What's the local government, what are they doing? Federal government can't do everything. We all have responsibilities. Everybody should wake up to their responsibilities. I think there should be a resuscitation of this sky or something like that.
We do have it in Lagos. I wanted to add.
I don't think they are.
Is the federal ministry thinking of deploying technology, CCTV cameras? Because you're talking about people stealing things or removing things from the third mainland bridge. It's an important bridge to the economy of Nigeria and the economy of Lagos. So whatever investment is made on that bridge is worthwhile. So is the ministry thinking of deploying technology to ensure that this doesn't happen again or is minimized to the barest minimum? I was quite excited when I saw that they're finally putting lights on Kara Bridge. Because sometimes all you need to solve insecurity is illumination.
Even the lights, they're vandalizing them.
Already?
On the Kara Bridge?
Not Kara, on our other roads.
Third mainland. Right.
On our other roads.
So are you...
They're vandalizing the cables, they're vandalizing the generators, even the solar lights. In some places that we installed, the next day they've uninstalled.
So what kind of punishment are you? I think that's
I don't know. I don't think that is for me to answer.
No, I'm just thinking of...
It's a general problem
if you can deploy,
that we have.
If you can think of deploying technology.
CCTV will be ultimately deployed on Third Mainland Bridge because it's a major national asset.
When will that be?
No, once we are done now. Once we are done with the repairs. This phase we want to do now, the island ban, will take us about 6-7 weeks. Conversely, we change to the other lane, about 7 weeks. So we're thinking about 3 months or 3.5 months.
So by
so we'll be done.
March?
Once we are done.
March, April, right?
March, April, yes.
Is there a specific date for that?
Yes. 8 weeks maximum.
So is that in March or April?
Let's say April.
April.
Yes.
With the final work on the Third Mainland Bridge.
Yes, April.
I know most of the points that we have raised are not necessarily within your purview, but it's important to have this conversation so it will be a sort of agenda setting for the relevant ministries involved. And that's why I want to add that I wonder if it is part of your recommendation that public toilets be made available on the stretch, particularly this stretch of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. There are a lot of traders on this route, and there are no public toilets around. I wonder if you consider it an important point.
It is very important.
Part of your recommendation.
It is very important. We've said that. Okay, it was TVC that called me, I think it was on Saturday, and I told them that apart from providing the public toilets, punitive measures.
Like what? Arrest in prison?
Yes, yes.
Oh, are you trying to say that even when public toilets are made available, people still go and abuse this infrastructure?
They still do. They still do. You find people, public toilets here, and then you find a man who want to sow the seed just by the roadside. because it's easier for them to do that. It's easier for them, and they're free.
So just a last,
do not have shame.
Just a last bit before we release it.
TVC was recording like this, and the man was still doing
just a second, madam. Are we updating this alternative route on Google Map for those who use Google Map? Is there any update on? Are you talking with the technology guys to make sure that this changes? Because Google Map will still take you.
Well, some of the changes are reflected, but it's important to know the kind of partnership you have.
Is there any?
We're not.
Most people use the maps. For
it's another agenda.
Maybe when Google Map take them there, maybe they will see that there's no road. Are you going to fly?
What a way to put it. There you go.
They can't fly. And then Google Map will tell them now that now you have made a dead end, so turn right.
Turn right.
Yes, it's going to tell them that. Yes, now.
And diversion.
Yes.
Well, it would only be temporary anyway, so...
We're going to block at the points that you can divert.
Right.
You understand? That junction of Bagada to Third Mainland. That's what we're going to. So Google Map will tell you can no longer go straight. Just turn right.
I hope Google Map doesn't mislead you at this point.
All
right. We want to thank you very much, Mrs. Olukorede Kisha, for your time and thoughts on the program today. She's the Federal Controller of Works in Lagos. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we hope that
for having me.
When next we call on you, you'll be readily available.
I'm available. I'm not singing, I'm unavailable. I'm singing, I'm available.
Okay, I love
so tomorrow
way too much during this interview.
So tomorrow you're invited.
Oh, absolutely. We'll be
by
there
11,
live.
12.
Yeah.
So when we'll be doing the closure.
We're going to join you live to make sure that we see all of that.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. All right.
So, you've been updated on the alternative routes and you know just how long the reconstruction rehabilitation work will last on Third Mainland Bridge. Well, up next on to our next conversation on the program, and it is to Japa or not to Japa. What are the push and the pull factors? Stay with us. We'll be right back.